What is up, guys? It's me, TheGamingD, and welcome back to another WWE pay-per-view review. We're here with the review for WWE Payback. Just went down a few hours ago. It ended about an hour ago, maybe. Maybe 2 hours ago, I think. Yeah, 2 hours ago. So we're just gonna talk about from the beginning of the show to the end of the show and my thoughts on all of the matches. I'll try to make it not long. Hope you guys do like these reviews. The last one did really, really well, so thank you so much for that. Any of you that have subscribed from that video, just let me know in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate it. But anyways, let's just get right into it. So starting with the pre-show. Pre-shows are normally, there's normally matches that no one really cares about. I believe at SummerSlam, it was the the MVP and Apollo Crews match for the US title. And, it should have been on the main card, but, they put it on the pre-show, even though it's literally one of the biggest stories going on right now on Raw. So I don't know why they put it on a pre-show, but anyway, this pre-show for Payback was the Iconics versus the Riot Squad. And the Riot Squad won, surprisingly. It was a real shocker for that one. The match was pretty weird for the most part. It was kind of back and forth, but the ending was a real surprise. Having the Riot Squad win. And they kind of made it seem like throughout the match, just they weren't gonna get along. But they eventually, I guess, got along and ended up winning the match. In my opinion for this match, I'm not really a fan of the Riot Squad and the Iconics. I'm a fan of Liv Morgan. I think she's a great performer. And then I'm a fan of Peyton Royce. She's a great performer. I think with her being married to, I think Sean Spears, I think that's what his name is, really, he's kind of like rubbing off his wrestling knowledge onto her. And you can really tell with her attitude and just the way she does her stuff now. So I think that's really it for that match. It was pretty boring for the most part, but the Riot Squad won, and yeah, woo, Liv Morgan, yeah, get it, girl. All right, and starting off the actual show was Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. Now, overall, the match wasn't too terrible. Lashley was in control of the match, like 90% of it. It wasn't a long match either, but, it's I guess, on the undercard championship match. What do you really expect? But yeah, Bobby Lashley won the United States Championship. That was honestly a real shocker, but I think it makes sense. I'd much rather have Bobby Lashley be the U.S. champion than MVP, or even Shelton Benjamin, because I think Bobby Lashley is the champion of the team, and I think it's gonna have some good matches with Crews coming into this, because after the match, Apollo ended up attacking Lashley and basically said like, "Oh, I'm getting my championship back," and that's what happened for that match. It wasn't a terrible match, but it obviously could have been a little bit better. Next match was the Sheamus versus Big E match, and Big E won. Not really a surprise, because they're basically just forcing him to be pushed at this point, since they gave Kofi his push, Kofi Mania, and now with the blessing, Big E is now having his singles push. But honestly, this was my bathroom break match. I literally went to the bathroom, come back. It was still on. I didn't see really much of the beginning of it. I saw it towards the end. Overall, from what I saw, it wasn't a terrible match. Sheamus and Big E are perfect performers. They do a really good job. The only thing I can say is Sheamus should I think he should go with that gimmick that he had in the bar fight with Jeff Hardy. Having like the overalls or the suspenders and all that whole get up, make him kind of look like a Russian, or not a Russian, an Irish mobster. I think that fits him. It looks and he does look pretty cool with that. And I think Big E should just drop the New Day gimmick. Like, the New Day is no more right now. Do your own thing. Like, stop coming out and saying, welcome the 8-time champs and feel the power. It's like, you're by yourself. I understand maybe if you're with the boys, but you're by yourself. You're doing your own singles push, and him on Talking Smack, with him saying all of, he can bring it, basically. That's what he said. He can bring it when he needs to bring it, and he's being him. But, come on, I want more of a serious Big E when it comes to his single run. I don't really I like seeing him be funny. Like, he's a great performer, but I want him to be a little more serious. I think people would not be underestimating his skill to perform, but not a terrible match from what I saw, but again, it was kind of the match where I was like, oof. I was like, yeah, I don't really care about this. Next match, King Corbin versus Matt Riddle. Now, Matt Riddle won this match. Not a surprise, honestly. Now, something that people on Twitter, I was very, I'd say, active on Twitter during this pay-per-view. I try to be very active on Twitter during the pay-per-views, and even try to be on Raw. I can't watch SmackDown live, but later in the night when I can watch it, I try to be vocal about it and say my opinion. So if you want to talk wrestling and you want to hear my opinion on that stuff live, join. Follow. I was gonna say subscribe to my Twitter. Follow my Twitter. It's at TheGamingD123. But anyways, something that people didn't like is they kind of referred to the allegations that Matt Riddle had. I think it was like a month or two ago, maybe, and that's it's a little messed up. It's kind of like the whole drug and alcohol thing with Jeff Hardy. But overall, Baron Corbin, King Corbin, started the match with some really hard hits, like hitting Riddle pretty damn hard. I'd say they have a good chemistry in the ring, because they just the way they work together. I think their moves flow greatly together, and that's what I noticed in that. But the finish was a little lacking, I'd say. It was pretty quick and abrupt. I would have thought that they would have kicked out, or Corbin would have kicked out, but it is what it is. It's another one of those matches where I think they a lot of these, I think they wanted to put on the SummerSlam card, but they didn't want it to be like a 6-hour event. So this is kind of why they're like, you know what? Let's have a pay-per-view 1 week after SummerSlam, and whoop, there we go. We're good, But yeah, it's not a terrible match, but overall, it's a little lacking in some parts, mainly the end. Next match was honestly, it was a pretty damn good match. I'd give this one of the top matches of the night here, and it's like the SummerSlam one. So Sasha and Bayley versus Shayna Basler and did I say Basler? Shayna Basler, and Nia Jax for the women's tag titles, and Shayna and Nia won the match. They are the new women's tag team champions, which was very surprising. I wouldn't say, honestly, in my opinion, it wasn't really surprising. I saw it coming after SummerSlam. It was kind of like, yeah, they're gonna lose the tag titles. It makes perfect sense. But what I noticed during the entrance for Bayley and Sasha, Bayley looked really like nervous. Walking down the ramp, she didn't look like she had real confidence in them winning the match. And Sasha kind of looked like she just wasn't amused or just didn't want to be around Bayley. So I noticed that a lot. The match kind of went where Banks and Bayley were kind of just trying to outsmart the muscle of Shayna Baszler and Nia. But I'd say it wasn't a bad match. You know, Shayna definitely carried Nia through this entire tag team match. Nia is terrible. I literally wrote this down. I literally wrote this down. I'm like, Nia needs to go. She literally sucks. She's garbage. So like I don't like her, and when they won the match, she was super cringe and like screaming into the camera and like saying hi mom. You know, you can tell she was just making fun of the whole situation and she wasn't being serious, while Shayna's just like, you know, let's go celebrate. You know, she just wanted to get out of there, basically, like, hey, here we go. But yeah, it was a weird combination of a tag team to win the tag titles. Don't really like Nia. Shayna Baszler carried that match for that tag team 110%. If you disagree, you're an idiot. But yeah, the way they ended up winning was Shayna used Sasha's arm in a double submission to cause Bayley to tap out. So she had Sasha in like this leg triangle, and then had Bayley in a chokehold and ended up grabbing Sasha's arm and choking Bayley out with her own arm, and Bayley ended up tapping, and you know, it was a cool finish. I've never seen that before, so it was really nice on that part. So overall, a good match. It's one of those that for this pay-per-view, if you're gonna watch it, you should watch that one. Next match was Keith Lee versus Randy Orton. And Keith Lee won by a clean pin, and it was amazing. So overall, there on Monday when Keith Lee showed up, he had new trunks that looked like a skirt. He had to wear this tight black shirt, and his entrance music was changed. And his entrance music's garbage. So with all the people complaining on Twitter, we would have thought that something would have changed for this pay-per-view for Keith Lee to make, you know, the fans happy. The music stayed the same. It's still garbage. He's still wearing this black shirt, which looks kind of goofy. But they brought back his regular trunks that he wore in NXT, so you know I can be happy with that, as long as he's not wearing those weird, like, they're like Samoa Joe shorts but kind of like knockoffs, and they just look weird. But anyway, Randy at the beginning of the match demanded respect. You know, he's like, I'm the legend killer, you need to respect me, and did 3 chops to the chest, and that's when everything really kicked off. Randy ended up dropping Lee onto the announcer's table. I'm surprised they didn't break, because Lee's a big boy. And I don't know if anyone's seen the video of Keith Lee hitting Adam Cole Adam Cole's walking down the ramp, and Keith Lee just runs up to him and just launches him. Lee did the same thing to Randy Orton, but in the middle of the ring, sent him flying across the ring, and he went right under the bottom rope and hit the ground. Like, it was wild. And Keith Lee ended up winning the match with a powerful spirit bomb. Now, when I mean powerful, he kept him in the air for a second. It was kind of like a Kevin Owens power bomb. Just, they come out of nowhere, he just immediately lifts him up in the air, holds him up in the sky like he's gonna do like a last ride, and then just boom, just slams him right into the ground and pins him cleanly. And Randy Orton sold the hell out of that, man, and it looked really, really good. So again, that's one of those matches. It wasn't a long match, but I recommend watching it. It was really good. Next match is the Seth Rollins and Murphy versus Dominic and Rey Mysterio. The Mysterios won. Honestly, doesn't surprise me. And the outcome of this isn't surprising either. I think I've seen this coming for a while now. Basically, the match started off very, very quick. The second the Mysterios got in there, right when the bell rung, they just started attacking them, just going to town. It was a really good back and forth match. I think Dominic did pretty damn good in this, and the match was constantly going. There was constantly things moving. There wasn't slow, let me get you in a little chokehold in the middle of the ring type thing. It was just fast paced the entire time. Constantly someone's moving. That's why I said, sorry for my yawning. Ooh, I'm tired today. But yeah, there's never a dull moment. It was just constant moving. And Dominic ended up pinning Murphy after Murphy accidentally kicked Seth Rollins in the face. Now, Seth Rollins told Murphy to kick him in the face, not Rollins, but he was gonna throw, I think, Dominic at Murphy so Murphy could kick him in the face. It ends up getting reversed, and Murphy goes to kick, and it's Rollins right there instead, and boom, hits him right in the face. Murphy ends up getting frog splashed by Dominic, and the Mysterios won. So that's a dub for them. It was a good match. They did a really good job, and man, Dominic, you're doing great, man. I really, really like what you're doing. It looks really good. And, you're going to be big. You're going to be a big star. I could see him being maybe a mid-card person, but, he's going to do good. He's going to do good like Rey Mysterio did. Rey Mysterio wasn't really a top guy. He did win a few world championships, but he wasn't seen as a top guy and didn't always perform as a top guy, but he's good. He's a legend. He was a legend being like a mid-card most of his WWE career. So it's really good. Now, coming up to the final match, it's for the Universal Championship. It's Braun Strowman versus The Fiend versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. As you can see back there, where is it? Right. Okay, it's over. It's right there. I actually bought that. It's a framed Fiend autograph picture, and I need to figure out where I'm gonna hang it, because the Fiend's amazing. I got Ricochet, I got Adam Cole, I got Shinsuke Nakamura right there, and then I have Edge, and now I have the Fiend. So it's really cool. But enough of showing that. Roman Reigns ended up winning this match. Now, this match started off really quick. So, the Fiend doing his entrance, he gets into the ring and immediately gets attacked by Braun Strowman just out of nowhere. Strowman wasn't even out there to begin with. He just ran out, boom, knocked him down. They start fighting, slamming each other, hitting each other with freaking these clubs, doing all this stuff, putting each other through tables. It was amazing. But I think something that I saw that was cool about this is probably a future feud between I think it's gonna still be the Fiend and Braun Strowman, and because they keep showing Alexa Bliss. Now on SmackDown, Alexa Bliss she went a little crazy on Nikki Cross, and she's starting to get like how you get dreads, like how the Fiend has his dreads. Um, she had one on one side, and she had pigtails on each side, and on in the middle of it she had the like the dreads starting, and she ended up going crazy because Nikki said something about it, and broke a mug that she got Nikki Cross and started going crazy. Well, during this match, a couple times they switched to Alexa in the back watching on the TV, and she had the one on one side she was playing with, and then she had another one on this side. So I think we're gonna have Sister Abigail soon. I think that's gonna be really cool, man. We're gonna have a Sister Abigail. If she's gonna, I think it's gonna be good. I think that feud is just gonna be amazing. Or if they're just gonna use her as Sister Abigail for the Fiend, I think that would be just cool in general. But the match was very crazy. Kept showing Alexa Bliss. The Fiend ended up doing a superplex to Braun off of the top rope, and the ring broke for the, what is it? You had Brock and Big Show and Mark, Braun and Big Show, and now you have Braun and the Fiend. 4 times the ring has broken in wrestling. And the second they did that, it broke. They're both on the ground. Boom. Here comes Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns didn't start the match with them. It was just the Fiend and Braun, and they're just going at it. And here comes Roman Reigns. He literally signs the contract while walking down the ramp, comes down, tries to pin the Fiend. The Fiend kicks out, tries to pin Braun. Braun kicks out, ends up hitting the Fiend with some chair shot, or not the Fiend, Braun with some chair shots, just wham, 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 bending this chair over his back. Ends up trying to do it to the Fiend. The Fiend knocks the chair out and gets the mandible claw onto Roman Reigns. And when I saw that, it was kind of like a meme when Roman came back, because his teeth, he got new teeth, and he kind of looks like he's got like buck teeth. It's weird. It kind of looks like a horse mouth. So I made a joke on Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, the Fiend was trying to rip out Roman's horse teeth, and I thought it was hilarious. But while he's doing that, he ended up getting kicked in the nuts by Roman, and he ends up falling out of the ring. Roman ends up getting up and, spearing Braun Strowman and winning the match that way. Boom. Universal Champion is Roman Reigns, and he's a Paul Heyman guy. So that's how it ended. It's basically confirming officially that he's a Paul Heyman guy. Now, I think what would have been cool is, I said this on Twitter, again, follow me on Twitter. I think it would have been really cool if Retribution was involved in a way. I think they should have came out and assisted Roman in winning the championship, them come out, beat the other two up, and end up winning the championship that way. But, have them not hit him, do nothing to him, and eventually when he's asked about it, be like, oh, I have no association with him, I have nothing to do with him, I don't know who they are. because I think that would have been really cool, because it would have kind of connected with when the Shield first came into WWE. It was a triple threat match. I think it was CM Punk, John Cena, and I believe Ryback. I think that those were the three people. And they came out, attacked Cena, Ryback, assisting CM Punk in winning the championship. CM Punk denies it, and it ended up later on that, he had something to do with it. But I think it would have been really cool, because it would have been kind of like a repeat history, but this time it's happening with Roman, and he's the one introducing a new group instead of him being introduced, I think that would have been a really cool way to do it, but it is what it is. Overall, it was not a terrible pay-per-view. With only a week leading up to it, they did a good job. Raw was doing good on ratings this week. SmackDown was doing good on ratings. They were both above 2 mil, which makes me really happy. NXT was doing not too bad. I think they were almost at like 900,000 or like 850,000 around that area, which is pretty good. It was a good week for wrestling. Both shows weren't too bad. Raw was kind of lackluster, but SmackDown's been delivering every week for the past maybe month now, and I've been liking it. It's been a really good time, and so that was the pay-per-view. If there were 3 matches that I would recommend for you to go watch: the women's tag title match, I'd say the Keith Lee and Randy Orton, and the Seth Rollins Murphy against the Mysterios. I think those are the 3 matches, and if I could add a 4th, I'd say the main event with the triple threat for Universal title. I think that's it, but all the other matches are kind of just filler. Those are the main ones that I think you should go watch. But enough, I'm done with talking. Hope you did enjoy. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Go follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.